All right. You guys are tuned in right now to the Shady Ass Tea right here on hot7025fm.com. I am fine as Carrice, and I'm here with my cousin host, Sir. Hey. Sir, how you feeling?
I am hot and bothered because it's 100 million degrees here in Texas, but I'm also very, 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 very good. I'm happy it's Tuesday. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We gonna need your mic up closer to you though, but I'm feeling.
Can you
use your regular voice? Use your regular voice.
Can you hear me now? Am I coming in clear?
Okay. You're coming in clear. You're coming in clear.
All right.
Man, we've been off. I've had this ridiculous cough, my peoples out here, and so it's a little bit tamed, not completely. Okay, but we are here because we have a whole lot of tea, and I'm definitely gonna sip on some more. As we do each and every week. Listen, it's time to go ahead and deliver this shady ass tea. So, sir, what's the tea?
Hey, no. First of all, before we do anything, am I echoing? I feel like I'm echoing now. I want to send a shout out to the host of the Chisholm Report, one of the loves of my life. I want to send Christy J a happy birthday. I love you so much. Happy birthday.
One time for the birthday
14th anniversary to the 26 years old. She's 26. Sorry, 14th anniversary of 26th birthday.
Happy birthday, little sis. Hey. One time for the birthday chick. Man, it's a lot of people out here. What do you do when it's your birthday? You turn up, you show your ass? Like, what happens?
Yeah, 100%. On my birthday, when my birthday comes, I'm going to be showing ass, legs, all of that. Chest.
Okay. I mean, would that make any difference if you were like, I don't know, in some political, realm of anything? You still twerking with your buns out? Buns out, guns out?
Hands on my knees.
you are echoing just a little bit.
Okay.
It's your headphones.
It's my headphones.
So, guns out, buns out. Listen, absolutely. We have a sitting senator who has been all over the news because she decided to post a twerk video with all her buns out, child. Buns out, guns out. She didn't care, and she said vote for. She said vote for Max, child. Oh. I was like, what is really going on here? But we gonna let y'all see.
Senator Mack.
Listen,
mm-hmm.
That video. If I lived in Rhode Island, I'd be voting.
You'd be voting for who?
I'd be voting for Senator Mack. 100%. I would be voting right. I'd be at the polls, early voting. You'll say that's exactly what I would be doing. And so. I think it's wonderful. I think that any idea that she is not representing herself as a senator is false. I think this is exactly what senators need to be doing. Twerking. Maybe Joe Biden.
Senators, listen, our senator needs not to get out here and do any types of twerking. Please don't. No, please
Absolutely.
Don't.
Absolutely, they need to be twerking.
No, they absolutely do not. The ones here do not need to be doing no types of twerking. Please keep that in your britches, okay? Because we are definitely passing on anybody with the shenanigans over here doing the twerking.
I think she's doing a great.
We'd rather not.
Did she have any response to that? Because I know people were like, oh, she's a senator, she shouldn't be shaking. But I mean, if I could stand on my head and shake my ass, I'd be doing it right now. I'd be delivering the shady ass tea on my head, twerking. If I could do that.
I mean, so for me personally, I wouldn't be twerking. I wouldn't twerk regularly, like if I wasn't a senator. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's just not my thing. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm not mad at her for expressing herself, but I think that could definitely have harm. I mean, she's from Rhode Island. It's not like she's from Vegas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a different level of voters in that particular area, and maybe she doesn't care because she's super rich. Those of you, if you don't already, because I haven't followed her on TikTok, but I just looked at her TikTok today, and she's risky.
Listen, I live for it. I live for a senator being a human being. I do not want to see the robots in the suits. I know you, because then, like, say she was like,
But
I'm
all
so.
human beings don't twerk, which was my point.
All human beings don't twerk, but if you got to ass like she got, you
I
twerk.
got to ask better than what she got. So
I-
let's carry on. I mean, the thing is, I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at her. She didn't have to twerk. She knew what she was doing. She even says on her TikTok, she's like, look, I went to an Ivy League college. Like,
yeah.
I know what's going on here. Like, she knew what she was doing when she posted the video and said vote for her. She knew it, and I'm
Absolutely.
not mad at her, but I just personally wouldn't have done it myself.
Do you think
I
she-
mean, I've done plenty of risky things in my life that I'm not deleting. So in the event that I run for any office, it's going to be there.
the risky
Okay.
things the risky things I've done in my life aren't recorded, so I don't have to delete them.
Some of mine are, child.
Do you think she's a submissive woman?
Who, her?
Yeah. Do you think she's submissive?
I mean, to her queer partner, possibly so.
Yeah. Do you think she plays a submissive role?
I don't
her
think so.
relationship?
Well, she might. She might pack some bags and do all of those things. I mean, she
Yeah.
could. What exactly does submissive mean to you?
To me, I think all submissive means is acknowledging the person's role in your relationship. So it doesn't necessarily mean at all times that you do whatever this person says. It's not a slave, right? There people submit to one another in relationships and different things. If this person has a stronger hold of something in your relationship, that you should probably submit to them in that, right? Because there are some men who can't manage money, and so then women manage the money, right? And so they have to submit to her in that way. And there are other relationships where the man, is essentially the protector and the provider for that relationship, and you should submit to that. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think there's this idea.
Did you say
around submission.
should? Like, you should submit to that?
That's exactly what I said. Should. And so I think that there's an idea presented to women that the word submission is something that they should run away from or they should reject because it means they're being weak or that means that they're being controlled. And I don't think that's what submission is. I really don't. What do you think it is?
I think
We can't hear you. I think you just muted yourself.
I think if you're dating Cam Newton, you're being told what to do.
You think so? Only if you're dating Cam Newton, you're being told what to do.
No, I'm just saying that there's plenty of people that tell people what to do. Like, tell people, like, hey, this is what I need you to do or I want you to do for me. It's one thing, like, it's one thing to say, to be the person that's like, I'm going to do this anyway because I love you. But he has requirements, which we've talked about and spoke about here on air. It's a requirement versus someone naturally being submissive. There's some things that you don't have to tell someone to do. When you're a submissive partner, they don't have to tell you to do things. It just naturally happens.
Right.
So I think that's with Cam. He desired. That's what he wants you to do, and that's what is going to be done. Period.
I don't think all things that when you're submitting to somebody is natural, right? Some things you may have to be told. Some things like, hey, this is what these are my requirements. Don't think
We have to use our words.
Right?
We have to use our words because when you're not going to tell me what you like. Now, if we have open dialogue and have a conversation and say, hey, this right here is my preference. This is part of my love language. These are the things that I like to have done. I'm not going to say to you, sir, as my cousin, you are going to do this. Okay. You're going to do this shady ass tea show. Okay. Whether you like it or not.
Okay.
But I could say to you, sir, I think that you would be great at this. This would be something that I think that that would work well for you and your personality. Is that something that you'd like to do? It's a difference in communication, and Cam ain't got it.
There are some things that you're going to tell somebody that this is what it is, right? Like if there are some things that are like drop dead no's, like this is a non-starter for me, right? I think it's important to communicate that up front and say, hey, this is a non-starter for me. This is a deal breaker. If this happens, it's a no. And so if that's something that you are doing or you've done or you plan on doing, just so you know, it's a no. And I don't think that so telling somebody sometimes is the only way you can get that information across. Now I understand what you're saying, that there's how you say it and not what
It's
you
how
say in
you
all
use your
way.
words. You have to use your
Right.
words properly. Like, we understand what being told and someone telling someone, that there's a definition attached to those things rather than having open conversation about what I like.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
different. So use your words. Like, yes, we have extensive vocabularies. We can use our words properly. We don't have to use words like told, like Cam Newton, like, my girl is gonna do this. Like, that's how he communicates. You know, and
Right,
that's how
but
definitely
but
how
the
he
woman he
communicates at home.
attracts and just may communicate that way.
Let me tell
Everybody
you something.
doesn't.
Let
Go
me tell
ahead.
you something that I have learned throughout having relationships in life and watching people with with very well established relationships is that it's all about being open and effective communicators and not you telling someone how to do it. No, no, who's single? I don't know who Ariel was talking about. I can't post the comment right now, but I don't know who Ariel was talking about. Is who's single, but Cam Newton is not single because this is what his girlfriend
If
says.
we kind of broke it down into like to dos specifically, like what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, they're always like, "Oh, how you guys doing?" And I'm just like, "Girl, he's rotten." I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like he's rotten. But I love that. Like I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. You know what I mean? And my biggest flex should be how I treat myself, which is this is kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed up.
What are you getting
Period.
from all that you're giving? What are you asking for in return?
You know what's interesting? And you saw my reaction when I was like, "You say that? You asked for that?" You know what I mean? I think that I have gotten better at saying the things that I need, but if I don't get it the first time, I don't like to say it again.
So would you do what you're doing for a broke dude?
What do you call broke?
Requires your financial support as well.
No. No. I think to be broke, you can be
Still a great lover, still very romantic, still very emotionally supportive. But I'm just like asking about
I wouldn't even know that. I wouldn't even know that he's all those things. Because I think there's a lot of people who are financially stable who are broke-minded, and I can't get down with that either.
So let me just clarify the question. What are the requirements from a man to bring to Jazzy in order to get this level of love from you?
I think it's how you make me feel. I have to feel safe with you emotionally. You have to excite me. I need edge. So all this cute, soft shit that I need him to be emotionally this, I do need that. But I also need some edge. And I also need a man that is like, you know, like I am a submissive. So like in a way, my
That's
love
going to
language in
tell
sex
her
is like
what to do.
I like for you to tell.
Right, because she is a submissive. She's
And
a
so-
submissive. I ain't got it in me, child.
Right. So I think my
But I think that that's important to understand. So what
Right.
she just said was not that she is a submissive partner. She said she is a submissive, which is a whole
other thing.
what is it? What would we call it as a title? Because there are people who are dominant, right? There's doms and there's submissive
Right.
persons.
So she's a sub.
So she's definitely the person that needs the dominant partner to say, you're going to do this, get on your knees, wash those dishes, clean the car.
Right. And
She's
so
that
that's-
person.
that's
but so
what I'm
I think
saying.
I think that that's the part that gets confusing when she has this conversation. She should have started off with the conversation saying, well, I'm a submissive, so blah blah blah, versus saying all of that and then saying, well, I'm a submissive.
Well,
Bitch, I mean,
hold on. So it isn't. I don't think either one is. She had to say it either way, right? So if she's a submissive person, and that's what she wants, that's what she wants. And I think it goes back to when I said some people, you are going to say, this is what I want, this is what you're going to do, this is, and that person receives the information that way. And so everything doesn't have to be like this. Oh, let me coddle, your ego because I said something that may offend you, right? because your personality is not one that's submissive, and so the idea of it
Who?
isn't going.
Who, me? I'm
Yeah,
a very
you.
submissive partner. That's the part that you don't understand. I don't want to know. I don't want to tell people to do shit outside of the work. So I'm a very submissive partner. So understand it, and that's another thing too. And don't make judgments about people just because you see them in a different aspect of life. But I think that it's important to. I'm not a submissive. Like I'm like I do not want to date a dom, right? But I do want to date someone who can make authoritative decisions. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you make decisions? And I just say, oh, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you cannot make those decisions, and if we get to the table and we're having dinner and I need to pull out my wallet, no, sir.
Okay, so wait, hold on.
If we're
So
going on a
how-
trip, if you say, hey, let's go to Jamaica, and I don't just, only thing you need from me is my login for my passport and a global entry, please, just, you're not the one.
So what do you think about being submissive? Like men saying they need a woman to be submissive.
I think that I think the man needs to be able to make his to give off
He
the
needs to be a
energy
man.
he needs to give off the energy to allow his partner to be naturally submissive. You do not have to tell people to be submissive.
No,
But if you ain't, but if you,
I agree with that. I 100%.
but if you
because
don't,
as
if
a man
you
who's
don't
had a
have
woman
that
be
up in you,
submissive, right? As a man who's had a woman be submissive, and as a man who's been in a relationship where someone has to submit, I'm the man of my house, and not like I'm a man. It's not like that. But I am in charge of my home. I pay all of my bills. I take care of the people in my home. I am in front of the things that need to be happening. I make the decisions, and not all decisions, whatever. But like, I am the man of my home, and so if you're with somebody, if your partner, man or woman, if your partner is in charge, you should submit, right? Not, and I know you don't want me to say should, but you will, because it's not. It feels like this is what I should do.
I think that we're on the same page, but I don't know why this is coming off differently.
It
but
does. I think we're agreeing.
But the reality is that you don't have to. A man doesn't. A real guy who is in charge of himself
Right.
does not have to tell someone else they're in charge of them.
I agree with that.
Literally never.
I agree with that. I
So
100% agree with
so if you're dating men who aren't in charge of themselves, those men typically will try to tell you what to do and insist that you be the submissive partner because they're not naturally making you that person. And I think that's the challenge.
I 100% agree with that. That Ariel says they have to deserve that shit. They are not entitled to that just by being in a relationship.
Exactly.
100%.
Like there are people
agree with
that I have been in relationships with, and I'm like, I have too much control over this relationship. I can't even be in a relationship with this person. Like I'm not, like, it's just not in me to be able to submit to them or have them do like I can't do it. And I won't say relationship. I'll say that I have dated people, but I never got to that next level
to a relationship stage.
Because I'm like, like you are not giving me that energy where I feel safe. But I think that understanding what Cam's, and this we go call her Cam's girlfriend, says is that she is a submissive.
Period.
And I think that that's important to understand. Like she desires that with all of her partners, probably
she
her
desires
friends
to be
too.
Controlled.
Probably right. Probably with her friends as well. Now, shout out to one of my friends here and a fellow co-host as well, who is a dom.
Okay.
He does that also for a living, and he also in a relationship is a dominant dom.
Yeah.
I mean, could I be in a relationship with a dom? Probably not, because I feel like they're expecting to be the dominant. They're trying to be a dominant partner. Versus naturally being who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So you think it's performative?
Yes, and he's definitely a performer.
Okay.
Shout out to Savage, okay, and his name should tell it all, okay. And he's definitely a performer, but he's a dom, and I'm like, and I feel like that's part of like the dominant thing is that he's performing all the time, and you shouldn't have to. Your partner should naturally make you do whatever it is that you naturally do, and that's it.
Okay. I don't. I listen. I don't disagree with that at all. I really don't. I think that if like you said, I agree with 100% that if you are the leader in the relationship, you're the leader. No one ever has to say that's the leader. They just kind of is what it is. I still have a question. Since we're talking about, so do you think that there are women who were not born women who are dominant in their relationships? So like,
I'm sure.
do you think like transgender women feel more dominant in relationships with their
I
relationships with
don't know
women?
I don't know what they think. I'm sure that they have a variety of thoughts, just like you and I would.
That's a good answer.
That was a horrible transition, by the way. Horrendous.
It was. It was
Throw
hard.
the whole transition away. Let's
Throw the whole
start
transition
over.
away. Start over again. So here's the thing.
Because we still have the response to, what's her name? Manetta? What's her name?
Who?
The response to the Cam Newton's.
Brittany Renner.
Brittany, that's her name.
Brittany Renner. Oh, go ahead.
We don't want to do that no more?
Go ahead. No, go play it.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
interesting.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to load it.
Okay, so
But do we know who Brittany Renner is?
Brittany Renner is a lady. I don't want to defame the lady, right? So I'm not going to say anything horrible about her. But she is a lady who was pregnant, and then right 2 weeks after she was giving birth, she filed divorce from her husband. Then she posted a thing on the internet where she was on a college campus talking about hide your sons. She's a very interesting lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's a she has a lot of opinions. But yeah,
I don't know if this is right, but is this the right one?
Let me see. That's not her.
I don't know what I'm doing then, child.
That's okay.
We're gonna close the case.
We're gonna close the deal because I was about to take it there. She had broke. That was the one where she had broke down the word submissive and was like,
oh yeah, she was like sub me, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
So that's the problem is that, and this is what happens with the whole internet, right? Mm-hmm. The whole entire internet will just play a clip of something without the full context, and then the whole internet is up in a frenzy, okay? Right. But like I said before about this particular person, Manetta, I think is her name. Anyway, like I said before, if she had said, I am a submissive at the beginning of the conversation, we would never have gotten this context.
That's true.
And it would never gone viral.
Context is really important. I agree. Context is really, really important. And it's hard to get context in 30 seconds. You like who, Ariel? Brittany Renner? I'm not even gonna get into her.
She's strategic. Brittany, she be coming up with strategies.
Jared say I don't like her that much. See,
listen, she comes up with all types of strategies, y'all. She
does. She's a lot. She's heavy.
Well, we'll close the case on that. We understand what a submissive is and what I think that a submissive partner would just naturally make you do, and that's that.
I agree.
Because I spent some time traveling for 8 years. Definitely had a partner to pack my bag. Definitely, without question.
Definitely had a partner packing your bag.
Not even a question.
I definitely want to dive into this dom submissive a little more, but not obviously not today. We got other shit to do today. But
we should have some guests
later
on that are doms
and some subs. We got to talk to the subs too because they upset we can't
maybe we'll have some of their paying subs come through as well. I think that would be a good conversation.
I think so too.
Okay.
Okay. So Up next, we're talking about context, right? And how context, it's hard to have context in a short period of time. And I feel like this next thing that we're talking about, Macy Gray, is one of those things that out of context kind of reads a little weird. So Macy Gray was on Piers Morgan yesterday, and he asked her about the state of, kind of state of the world and transgender politics a little bit. And she had a response, and this is her response.
An era now, Macy, where you can't. Most public figures are too terrified to even say what they think a woman is.
I know.
I mean, if I asked you what a woman is, what would you say?
I would say a human being with boobs. You have to start there.
Yeah, I mean, the dictionary is quite straightforward. It just says a human, adult, female, right?
No, a lot of people. Yeah, see, that's a little getting confusing. The whole he, she, they. That's getting a
And I'm
little
not
rap.
sure why, really. It's a bit like this whole issue of transgenders in sport. Because I support all trans rights to fairness and equality.
Me too.
But not where you have people born to obvious physical superior bodies.
Me too.
Transitioning and then thrashing the women at their sports.
I totally agree. And I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact. Like, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got a surgery.
Because people do feel that there's biological sex and then there's gender identity, that you can
Right.
identify as whatever you like
You can
in
call
terms
yourself
of a
whatever you
gender,
want.
right?
Yeah,
That's the
totally.
freedom we live in. But
Absolutely.
actually, you can't change the mechanics of biological sex. They are what they are.
Well, just women go through just a completely unique experience, and surgery or finding yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman.
Listen, I do not entirely disagree with the legend that is Macy Gray. Okay. I don't. It's hard because she's saying stuff that people are really thinking, that people really feel, right? And deep in their hearts. And it's hard for her to kind of say that and not be ostracized or canceled or attacked online.
I don't think
for
she's going to
stating her
get canceled.
opinion.
You think she'll get canceled for that?
I think people are going to. I don't think she's gonna get canceled because she's Macy. You can't cancel Macy. How you gonna cancel Macy Gray? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna try to say goodbye and choke. You know what I'm saying? They go try to walk away and stumble. And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's just not gonna happen. But I do think people are going to assume she's transphobic. I think people are going to assume she hates transgender women. And I don't think that's what she's saying at all.
No, I think that what I took away from it was the fact that she is saying that there are certain experiences as a born physical woman that anyone, just because of them changing parts, they cannot have that experience, right? And I was talking we were talking earlier, and I was saying maybe. Like if there was a white guy, he decided he wanted to do something, change his skin to a
Like
black guy.
like me.
There's a whole experience as a child, as a black boy growing up, to become a black teen, to becoming a black man. There's a whole different type of experience. And we could talk about things about reproduction. We could talk about getting your first period. We could talk about when you start to get boobs, or when you start to like, boys or girls or whatever. Like there's a whole
or
different.
Even like the first time someone calls you a bitch.
Do you remember the first time somebody called you a B word?
I'm just saying, like there are.
I don't remember that.
There are experiences that little like
or
that little
yeah,
girls
like
have,
an N word.
Yeah,
like
an
an N word.
experience, right? Because like there are. Like my daughter, there's experiences that she has at school that when we talk that my son is not going to have. Little boys say things to little girls that they don't say to other little
and
boys.
pull their hair and do all types of weird stuff because boys are weird. Boys do weird stuff. Like even if it's adults. Like
girls
what
do weird
are
things
you
too.
doing, sir?
Girls
like
do
this
what
is
they
what
just doing with each other. What? Girls do weird shit. They just do them at sleepovers, and boys do it in the lunchroom.
I never did anything at a sleepover. People are weirdos as a child.
Come on,
Carrying on.
Context and
Back to
clarification.
Macy.
Okay.
Back to Macy Gray. Okay, I think that there's no way that she could be canceled, right?
No, absolutely not.
She didn't say that she was against anyone who's trans or anyone who wanted to add any parts or identify as such. Right. She's essentially just saying that the experience, like there are parts of the experience that just aren't going to be there, from a woman's perspective.
Right.
You guys in the comments, what do you think? What do you think about what Macy Gray said?
Jira says, I was like, my mama don't talk to me like that, so you not either. So
That was the first time somebody called her a B word.
right, very that.
But I don't even
but you-
remember. I feel like I had to be an adult the first time somebody called me a B word.
the first time somebody called you a bitch was when you was a grown up.
That I recall. Like that probably I'll say that maybe that's when it impacted me. Because as a kid, I probably didn't bother me. I'm like, whatever.
Right.
You know? But as an adult, I probably was like, did this motherfucker just call me? You know? Like you process things differently
Right.
when you're a grown
Right.
person, you know? So, or maybe you remember when a guy called you a B word
That's what I'm saying.
versus
Or-
a girl calling you a B word.
Or the first time a guy ever lied and said he put his hands down your pants. Or the first time a guy ever lied, you know what I'm saying, lied and said they did something with you that was sexual that they didn't, or that y'all was like guys.
When's the
lie
first
about
time
shit
you
like
did it, sir?
that I lied on a girl? I've never done that. I haven't. I've never lied and said, oh yeah, that was, that's my girlfriend. So if I lied about a girl, she didn't exist.
He had imaginary girlfriends.
Yeah, I had to, if I lied about a girl, it was not a girl anybody could ever track down. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't ask her no questions.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie on
her.
a girl that we eating lunch together.
Thank goodness there was no social media back then, sir, because we would have cracked the case. Okay.
But I don't know. I think that it's with transgender politics. It gets like, for real. My boyfriend lives in Montreal. Tell him again. Why am I lying about somebody that's living in the same city as me? Just please. So there's this term. Have you heard the term TERFs?
Like your area?
Right. So when they're talking about this term applies to women who say they support LGBTQIA plus politics and transgender politics specifically, and say that, hey, when you're talking about transgender women, everything doesn't apply to them. And so like the idea of instead of calling people women, calling them birthing persons or menstruators.
Interesting.
So a woman who feels like that they call them a TERF, and I guess it's supposed to be like a derogatory term, or like like look at that TERF over there.
But that's derived from the LGBTQ community.
Correct. And so
that's like calling somebody a coon or a wigger.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
How are they gonna be mad at someone because they want to differentiate between someone who ministrates versus or had that experience,
right,
versus someone who has not and will not ever be able to experience that. The thing is that I feel like it's so much sensitivity behind things. Mm-hmm. Listen, this show is gay as hell. Okay, we hella gay over here. Okay, the reality is that we hella gay. Okay, I love the women's. Okay, and the men's. All right. They actually just started liking the men's again, but we can get that back here.
We're gonna do something else. We're gonna do the Dom Sub show. That's a different show.
But this is the thing, though, is that why is it that we can't say certain things in the way that we feel about certain things because of this particular community that we're part of? So even me being part of that community, right? And me
bullying
saying
everybody.
Do you think that's what's happening?
Yes, I was watching Bill Maher the other day, and he had two LGBTQ like public figures. I can't remember.
Come to the mic.
I can't remember. Can you hear me? Am I coming in clear?
If you use your regular voice, you'd be good.
And so the one guy was like, LGBT people are fighting for all these equal rights, but as soon as somebody says something that's against them, or as soon as somebody says something that they don't
even
like,
if it's not really against them,
right? They're gonna bully them.
That conversation isn't even against them,
right? But you can't say anything that remotely offends them.
At some point we have to stop saying them. Okay, it's not even against us.
It's not against us. It's not against. It's not attacking me.
The conversation isn't against me. Okay,
it's
just
I'm not a T though, so
there is a difference between. There's a difference.
Listen, it's a lot of letters. I just want to be.
Do you wear hoochie daddy shorts?
100%.
Okay then.
Bobby Shmurda got a new song called Hoochie Man? Hoochie Daddy.
I didn't play it today, huh? Did I tag us on it? The Hoochie Daddy? No.
Listen, Bobby Shmurda.
Did you hear the Hood Right Hoochie Daddy?
Yes, that's what I'm.
That's it. Yes.
That's him.
Okay. All right, smarter. So back to this. Back to us being discriminated against. Okay. The thing is that I think that everyone should be able to have an open dialogue. Like, there's one thing to be disrespectful versus really being transparent about the real
about
parts
being
of
honest.
life.
Right.
You know,
Being honest.
I mean, the reality I have had, you know, I know some people who are transgender, and they have never had the same experiences that I have had.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's
These
just what
boobs
it
been
is.
swole up for a long time. Okay, and if I take
purchased.
and if I take my birth control extra, my nipples gonna be hella sensitive. Okay, and if I decide that all of a sudden I want to detox from my birth control, which happened to me a couple months ago, matter of fact, I want to detox from my birth control, and then then I just want to hump everybody all day. It happens. But these are experiences that, you know, everybody just does
And
not
you know what?
experience.
Being detoxed from your birth control and want to hump everybody all day and liking the men again is, listen, in this environment, Jira, absolutely. I got on Hoochie Daddy shorts right now.
First of all, Sir is a hoochie daddy. Before their hoochie daddies were hoochie daddies.
Can we be honest? This Hoochie Daddy, I'm feeling attacked. I'm like, y'all niggas, y'all late. Y'all late to the party.
Right, y'all bandwagoners.
Right. I done had these shorts on since I was a little kid. Since I was knee high to the fly. Okay. Never
Hoochie
had no
daddy
pants on.
bandwagoner. Shout out to my little brother wearing his hoochie daddy shorts.
Right.
Shout out to Wes and his hoochie daddies. Okay. Anywho, the word is this: is that why can't we just be authentically ourselves and then have differences in how we process through things or believe that things should be identified? Like, I have no problem with, you know, using whomever's pronouns for whatever reason. That's cool. Like, I'm good with that. Whatever. Right now, if I slip up, don't try to persecute me. Okay.
Right.
Because this some new shit. We just trying to learn this. Okay.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna say this about pronouns because my kids be on me about, because, you know, they growing up in a world where that is what's happening. You know, I'm adjusting to pronouns, and so these people are like, you're misgendering me. If I look at you, and my idea is that's a man, and so I say him or he, and you're like, no, I'm they, and I'm like, okay.
And especially talking to someone who has a degree in English. I am very confused with these grammatical errors. Okay.
Listen, language is interesting. The language can change in the use of words in their context, and their
obviously
can change. Now, that it doesn't remove the prior definition of the word. You know what I'm saying? That we can add an additional definition, but the original definition of that word is not going to go away. It'll still be in a dictionary, and so it still means that. It just may mean something else.
All I'm saying is, those of you who are out there who have different gender identities that you would prefer, don't be mad at us because we don't get it right the first, second, third, or fourth time. Okay, like, give us some grace too.
But if they have on a button, if they have their button on, because some of them have some wear the button, you know, and you're like, okay, well that makes sense. I'll go ahead and do
night.
That. You've never seen that?
I have not, actually.
Really?
I live in Las Vegas.
I live in Houston.
Listen, I live in Las Vegas, where I would probably say, I'm trying to think of how many times I run into someone who's part of LGBTQ. The thing is that I work in a space where the whole damn building is LGBTQ, child. Right. Whole thing. Okay. So we don't really have to be like, oh, they or them.
So is it they them?
Like, we have a whole space here, which is the Sin City Sisters, right?
Okay.
And I don't even know how I would explain them, but I just did an event for them a few months ago for AIDS awareness. Okay. But they're the nuns. They dress like nuns. And however they identify, I don't know what that may be. They may all vary in how they identify. Right. I know I met one of them who actually booked us, and his identity was he, but he doesn't
dress like nuns.
Correct. With like
the habits, with like sister like back in the habit,
and like real like I would say like I don't want to use the word drag, but I want to say like theatrical
That's drag.
makeup.
That's drag.
I don't know if I don't know if that's the proper wording.
No, I mean if they are like,
but long story short,
and like that's drag. They're in drag.
But long story short, like, it is what it is. It's like no thought of it. Like if we're walking past people, like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like it's no thought. But I don't know that they're wearing something that says my gender identity is this.
Yeah. Because
I don't know what their identity is when they are not, dressed as a sister. So I don't know. It's the world is confusing. We're trying to figure it all out. And like bear with us here.
Please.
Bear with us because we are us, okay?
Bear with us, please.
And your pronoun is what? Zaddy?
Zaddy. Yeah. It definitely is. Pronouns are daddy or zaddy. I respond to either one. I would say maybe at Pride. Maybe at Pride what? That you'd be
like the buttons.
Oh, no. See, I was at, where was I? Oh, never mind.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Never mind. Just never mind then.
Gracious. Real quick, I do want to talk about Neo's. Since we were talking about things that, never minding some things, and some things are, Neo says that he thinks that y'all ladies need to stop dancing to the word biatch if you feel like it's offensive. Sir, you okay with the chicks dancing to biatch or nah?
All right, so here's the thing. I've heard that argument before, right? That you shouldn't, if you are offended when men call you a bitch or men say something degrading to you or over-sexualize you, why are you still listening to X, Y, and Z? And a lot of the response is, well, he ain't talking to me, right? It's like, he ain't talking, I can like the beat. I don't fully disagree with Neo. I don't. Like if you're saying that this is misogynistic and it's degrading to women, then it's misogynistic and degrading to women. It's not. There's no like, oh, it's degrading to women, but I really like this particular song, right? And so when a man says it, it kind of sounds like he's trying to tell a woman what to do, or whatever. But I mean, if it's true, it's true.
Let's see what Neo has to say.
Music, but something that you said recently really caught my eye. You said music has to change, R&B music has to change because it's too misogynistic.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I feel like R&B is music that's about love. It's always been about love. I come from the era where it was all right for a man to beg on a song, baby, baby, please, and all of that. And I think that was when R&B was at its best. Now, I understand that things are supposed to grow and evolve and all of that, but when people are singing the word bitch, it just don't make sense to me personally. You know what I mean? So that's all I meant by that. I want to clear something up. Ladies, y'all are entitled to dance to whatever the hell y'all choose to dance to, by all means. However, if the bitch song come on and you jump up and start twerking, that's not giving a signal that you don't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being
I agree. I do. I do. I think that I think it's similar to the idea that like and you may disagree with me on this, but when someone goes out and they are like I wear hoochie daddy shorts, right? And my shows be short, and if I get the attention from wearing my shorts that I put these shows on for, and I'm offended by the attention that I get, right? I think that if you're presenting yourself in that way, then you can't dictate someone's response to your projection, right? Like you are dancing to the bitches and hoes, they're gonna keep making bitches and hoes songs. If women say fuck that shit, turn that shit off, put on some India Ari, it'll be more of that.
But I also think too is that like if it's a woman saying the B word, okay. is a woman rapper saying the B word any different? Or is it like the N word for black people, right? Like right. I feel like if a woman says it, it's typically not in the way that a guy says it when he's rapping. Mm-hmm. And although it's the same word, the context is different. Like they them and thus. Okay.
They them and thus.
But I just think that we just have to be a little bit more cognizant of. We definitely need to be responsible, but I think that at the same time, we're older.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and what do these conversations look like with these 20-year-olds? Like, what does the conversation look like? Are they letting their dude call them the B word?
Yes.
You know, I don't know what we're. I
I'm
don't
his
know.
bitch.
I really hope not. But it is.
100%.
But we know it's happening.
Right.
We know it's happening, right?
Right.
So they're like, yeah, I call my Chover and she's doing this and this and that. Yeah, that's my
Right.
whatever. Like, that's not okay, y'all. So those 20-year-olds, I ain't never let a dude say that about me. I've
Not
never
even in
called
the
a dude
bedroom?
that's my never.
Not even while he was like really knocking it down. You never.
No,
he was like,
absolutely not. You bet that would throw the whole relationship out the window, child, immediately. Take your condom off and get outside because we are good over here. Okay?
you
Period.
use condoms? No, I'm just joking. that was a joke.
Yes, respectfully.
That was a joke.
I have some in my backpack too. You know what
That
I'm
was
saying?
a joke.
Could send you some in the mail.
I have some.
But good. I'm very excited about that. Definitely protect yourselves out there, guys. But the thing is that no, I've never accepted any dude calling me the B word. Never. That's just me.
What? Okay, so I have a question.
Any chick either.
No, it was, and that's not the question.
I'm just saying. I wanted to get that out too.
Oh,
make
just-
sure we're
just-
clear.
just so we're
make sure
clear.
we're on even playing field here.
That in either context.
It doesn't discriminate. Okay, I don't
So
discriminate.
So, what if you're being a bitch though?
Don't call me one. You better figure out another word. Use your words. Use your words, and I'll figure out if I was acting like one or not later.
So have you ever called anybody a bitch?
To their face?
Yes. To their face, of course, to their face.
I mean, that's not the same if you say it behind their back. Shoot. I mean, probably. I mean, I'm trying to really think.
Come on now.
I'm really trying to think. Like, even like getting in a fight with your sibling. I don't think I ever said the B word though.
Mm-hmm.
That's like excess. That's like an extensive situation.
What about the
You
C
call
word?
I don't really use the C word.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's like to level 10. Okay,
Really?
you get to the point where you're calling someone that you love the B word. It's level 10, and this game is over.
Game's over. Time to fight the boss.
I mean, you could call people whatever you want to. You can call them various things. I can even receive that from someone who's upset with me for a minute, but I'm definitely gonna tell you about yourself, and don't you ever do it again. If I'm tied to you by blood, but other than that, no, sir. I'm not letting any dude. I don't care what the context is. He banging it out. She doing what? No, you're not calling me the B word. It's not a term of endearment for me.
We should talk about that too, because some people like to get called dirty things in the bedroom. That they don't
They
wanna get
might,
called
but don't call me a
when
B
they're not.
word. That'll kill the whole mood.
Kill the whole thing. Everything's dried up.
Dried
Turn the lights
up,
on.
child.
Turn the lights on.
The
cut
blow
off the
dryer
usher,
is on. Okay, we're good over here.
Turn the Carl Thomas off. It's it's not happening.
It's a wrap completely. One thing that we got to end on, and I hate to end on this, but obviously we know we have a problem with mass shootings in this good old country. Okay,
Yeah.
and clearly no one wants to do anything about it. And then too, I question like what exactly is the federales doing about this, because
Ain't nobody doing nothing. Everybody's gonna keep getting killed.
y'all look at this and y'all tell me y'all thoughts.
Officials say the suspected gunman at the center of the deadly rampage at a July 4th celebration in Highland Park, Illinois, had been planning this attack for weeks.
He brought a high-powered rifle to this parade. He accessed the roof of a business via a fire escape ladder and began opening fire on the innocent Independence Day celebration goers.
Though Robert Cremo III has not yet been charged, investigators making clear he's the one they believe is responsible for this deadly mass shooting. According to multiple law enforcement sources, Cremo is cooperating with authorities and has made statements taking responsibility for the attack. Police say he purchased at least 5 firearms, including that AR-15 style high-powered rifle, legally in Illinois. They allege he fired more than 70 rounds into the crowd.
During the attack, Cremo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity. and help him during the escape.
When the rampage was over, authorities say he dumped the rifle, got down from the roof, and walked among the same people he had just been shooting at.
He walked to his mother's home, who lived in the area, and he blended right in with everybody else as they were running around, almost as he was an innocent spectator as well.
Right now, authorities are still working to piece together a motive and a timeline, reviewing surveillance video of the attack. This doctor, who happened to
And we're
be at the
sorry about the
scene,
pauses,
jumping
guys.
in to help save lives.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like running out of like mental space for mass shootings. Like, how is this still like a thing that we're doing and nothing is happening? Like, gun laws are not changing at all. You can't hear me? Can you hear me better now? All right. Like, I'm like running out of space in my mind to process this kind of stuff. Like, when it comes on, when I see it come across my news, when I see it on the internet, like initially I kind of scroll past it because I just can't like take it in right away. I gotta kind of let the fact that it happened again process first, and then kind of go back to the story and see what happened. Like it's really saddening. And then he was dressed like a woman. Like it's too much.
So this guy named Robert Cremo the Third, 21, had two previous encounters with police in Highland Park. With the most recent one that was in like September of 2019 over a mental health issue. In that he threatened to kill members of his family. And also too that this particular shooting had been planned for over 2 weeks.
Right.
Did I ever tell y'all that my phone got bugged?
No.
And I got a letter. I got this like big old packet from the FBI, which I have it at home. I got a big old packet from the FBI that basically said, we've tapped your phones, all of your phones that are on your account. We tapped all of these numbers. And the reason why we tapped them was because this guy tried to kill this person. This guy killed 4 people. This lady was attached to this guy. That's his wife. This is their home address off of D Street and blah, blah, blah. Like literally had all the information. I'm like, y'all tapping the wrong person's phone, child. First of all, this clearly was a client. Okay. And, like I have nothing to do with this, but my phone was tapped for 3 months. They couldn't figure this out with this guy. He even planned a whole mass shooting for the past 2 weeks. Like, why?
You gotta lack melanin to get away with planning a murder for 2 weeks.
And then let's talk about the mental health issues, because obviously there needs to be some regulations with gun control, right? There needs to be some regulations here that if you have a mental illness, how in the heck are you going to go purchase a firearm without a proper evaluation?
They are in New York. I think they just passed a law. They're presenting a law where you have to submit your socials to your social media profiles.
I mean, when I bought my first gun,
Go on, first gun.
Our military crazy Marine cousin got it for me. We went to the gun show, and he purchased it because I couldn't take it that day. You had to have a special card or whatever to be able to take it. He purchased it, but I still had to go to the police department, do a background check, register the gun to myself, so on and so forth. The next time I got a gun, I went and they held the gun for 3 days. So they held it for 3 days. I had to do a background check. So they had to have all of my social. They had to have all this information anyway. Like, it was no problem. I wasn't trying to go shoot anybody that day. You know what I mean? So like, if there's an issue where you can't wait a couple days to get your get a gun, like you probably don't need one. You probably need to go cool off, have a drink, drink some wine, take some yoga classes, relax yourself.
Right, a little bit.
You know, there needs to be some sort of regulations put in place that keep, you know, from certain things like this happening so often. This is crazy. You know, you got kids. This is a place where kids are, elderly people. They're just going to the parade, have fun, whatever they, you know, whatever they want to celebrate.
Right.
Because I don't celebrate, but whatever they were celebrating, that's what happened, and it's unfortunate.
It is. I can't even like. I legitimately can't like wrap my mind around it. I'm trying to, and it's just I can't. I can't be looking at my kids like, Lord, thank you. So we're going to stay in the house.
For real. We are inside, not outside, okay?
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to close the case on all of these things. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're listening on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, thank you. Click that share button. Tell your friends about us. Let them know that the Shady ST was on. And they can go ahead and press play just like that. Sir, where can the people find you on social media?
Instagram, the Sir Armstrong, and Facebook, Sir Armstrong. I think I'm going to get a Twitter.
You'll be tweeting?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the dirty videos on Twitter.
All right. And you guys can follow me on every single social media platform at eCarrice. That's ECARRICE. Man, listen, we will see you next Tuesday right here at 5 p.m. on hot7025fm.com, y'all. Bye.